At a personal level, I started the Electric Sheep Company because I was most interested in technology that I felt would have a pretty radical effect on the world. And communication media tends to do that, especially when there's a whole new platform. I want to be involved very early on to see and influence where that goes. But more practically speaking, I felt about 3 years ago that virtual worlds were starting technologically, after 20 years of development or more, to get to the point that things could be built that would really be interesting and used by large numbers of consumers. So we started the company about 2.5 years ago, officially Electric Sheep Company, really started getting into it in earnest at the beginning of 2006. And now it's been 20 months, I've gone from 3 to 75 people. And really we're the largest company that's making 3D interactive experiences across virtual worlds for other companies. And we're, in addition to that business of creating the media and the interactivity of these virtual world experiences for everyone from education and training to media, like we've been talking about entertainment here in the CSI project, really that whole spectrum and advertising and all kinds of applications. And also creating the software that's needed to make those experiences possible and good enough and effective enough to be mass market appropriate.
So what are the virtual worlds at work today? You mentioned in your keynote that was more like, right now, more of the kids, virtual worlds for kids,
right.
Virtual worlds for teens. So.
Right. Well, one of the reasons I emphasize that is you see that as a more mature market in the sense in that that's gotten further with kids. Virtual worlds, we've seen mass adoption, very large audiences paying to participate either in the form of virtual goods or real physical goods or subscriptions to the virtual worlds. So we've seen that really to the point that a significant percentage of kids in certain age groups in the US here are using virtual worlds and gravitating to that over television in some cases. So see, that is more mature, whereas at the other end of the spectrum, where for broad demographics, including adults, and it's really still fairly experimental. There's the early adopters who are building content, making user-generated content. There's hundreds of universities teaching classes, but all these kinds of early adopters. Whereas just now it's starting to experiment with some of the breakthrough experiences that could be relevant to most of the people. Because right now, most people who are, say over 18, are not presented with a good reason to use a virtual world, right? It's interesting, you might try it out, but not really a reason. Well, it depends what you mean, of course, by a lot of people. There's a few 100,000 are active users, and that's significant, especially considering that as a company, Linden Lab didn't make any content. So unlike a game where you produce the whole experience, make it great, or a movie or TV show or whatever, then turn it on and put lots of users through it, here they just made a technology, threw it out there, and let amateurs and then professionals, start fiddling, making things. So you've seen a lot of content creation. That's what's been going on. So in that sense, there's a lot. But you're right, and it's still not a lot of reason for a lot of people to say, and then if they do come in and try it out, how do you find anything, etc. So one of the things is we're announcing here at this conference that we are rolling out along with our CSI project on October 24th, Second Life software, so a new viewer for using Second Life. So this is new client-side software. It's as if we're coming out with a new web browser. It's that equivalent, but for this platform, where we're coming out with client-side software, which is really designed to be easier to use for new users.
So what's going to change compared to what's available?
So the whole interface changes. It looks a lot more like a web browser. So you type where you want to go in the top, hit return, takes you there. So just some of those paradigms people are used to. It's got a new search capability, so it's easier to find things. And then we're really rolling it out to audiences. We're not saying, oh, here it is, everyone come and check it out. We're rolling it out to audiences one at a time when they have a good reason to use it. So with CSI, we're rolling it out for the first time on the day that program is launching with a whole experience in Second Life, so that it's really customized for that audience. And we know what they're interested in. They're interested in that show, and they want to have an interactive experience around that show. So we've made the viewer customized to that, so they come right in and do that. So they don't have to go spend hours learning Second Life and then figure out how to find their way to the CSI content. Skip all that. They just download the software and immediately in the CSI virtual world that's within the greater world of Second Life. So Electric Sheep Company looks for opportunities to do that kind of thing on different virtual world platforms. So we're working on commerce, shopping, applications.
What are the other platforms that you're working on apart from Second Life?
Well, one of the platforms we work the most on, along with MTV, is the McKenna platform.
Dare.com
platform, so there's a whole lot there. And then now there's a whole bunch of new platforms that all have different strengths, whether they're more like gaming engines or they're more open source, or lots of possibilities. And so we have new projects coming along on different platforms.
Virtual worlds are good good medium for advertising. Why?
Honestly, I think over the next maybe 10 years, we'll see them shown to be the best medium that has existed yet for advertising and advertising campaigns. Because as there are larger audiences that one is able to reach, one can really, instead of interrupting an experience, instead of having someone on a platform because they want a certain experience, then you interrupt it and show an ad. Or even online, where you kind of peripherally show an ad that you hope is similar to what they might be interested in and hope to pull some viewers away from it. Here what we can go in is with very interactive objects that are analogies to real-world products in some cases, or in other cases just brand extensions that add value to the experience. So you can do product placement in video games or TV, but here we can actually roll out virtual products. It's like an MTV virtual world. Well, did everything from selling virtual Pepsis and made it cool. So tens of thousands of people spent actual virtual currency to buy this product. So they weren't interrupting their experience to see an ad. They were electing to choose to do it, and then they walk around being cool, and other people would see them using that product. So that's the way to run a successful campaign. Similarly, we've run campaigns where it's been more a network effect that we've been going for. We start with just one avatar that may even be only tangentially associated with a brand, that goes out and first just seeds some ideas, gives away some products, throws some parties, becomes a known, cool person that other people seek out, and then eventually recruits other people to promote the brand, again by giving away experiences or creating events that are additive to other people, and pretty soon you can reach hundreds of thousands of people that way. So we've actually done those things and seen great effects.
So better than maybe a Google AdWords or AdSense campaign.
Right, which on the web, those will always be there and it makes a ton of sense. But here, we can leverage the fact that people are having human-to-human connections and communication. And so I can do something that's fun, and so you as an advertising company can give me something that just really adds to my experience, and then you have another customer, which is me. I'm using one of your products. It's a product with the margin of no marginal cost of production or distribution, because it's just software, but it has your brand and it's analogous, and maybe it even clicks through to your website, etc. There was a great campaign that we were not involved in with the WWE and Gaia Online. They gave away some hammers that did funny things and they got huge numbers of people back to their website. And so they're just able to give away, virtual fun items. It's a really intriguing model.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.